Hello and g'day. Today's video is a portfolio file folder junk journal insert. It's a printable kit and the details are on my online shop, so get in early for the special price I have on offer. I've made it up in both A4 and letter size, and that just makes it nice and easy for you to print out. Now I'll show you what we're making. There'll be a few pattern pieces. There'll be this one, the portfolio file folder itself. This is the insert. You can sew it into your journal, which is sewing it in like a signature, or you can just pop it in between the signatures like this. There's the library pocket and the card, and that can be glued on the cover, or you can glue it on the inside, and you can use it anywhere and everywhere else on other pages and projects. There's another pattern for the business card slot pocket, and that'll be in PDF and an FCM cut file. There's also this mini file folder that's a pocket pattern. You can either use it as a pocket here, or you can tuck it into this little side pocket here. We've also got a little pattern for this sticky note pad, and I'll do that in two sizes for you. This is the little tiny one, and you can put the bigger ones in there as well. And we'll also do an easy envelope pocket, and this is for just slipping in some tea cards or something smaller. So here's my journal. So if you open it up, you can see this particular one is sewn in. You don't have to sew it in. If I can get this one here, you can just sit it between the signatures and it'll just sit there. It won't fall out. That's pretty much how a normal file folder is. See the gap between these signatures? Just sit it in there and close your book. And you wouldn't even know that it was not sewn in. And this one here I chose to sew it in as part of the signature just because I wanted to see what it would be like sewn in versus one that was just sitting in the signatures. You can put whatever you like on that. You can journal on it. I've left that one plain. So that's what it looks like. And there's a few different varieties of how you can do it. So here's the exact same thing in an entirely different look. I've just used this plain one here. I'll show you how to make this one today. We're not going to make these pieces in today's video. I'm only going to show you how to make the portfolio, and in the next video we'll go ahead and make all the bits and pieces, or we'll do that one today, but we'll make all these other bits and pieces, and the library card, we'll make that in the next video. I've used the manila file folders. I've got here a plain one, and I've also got one, when you open it up, it's got the printed area for, you know, when you're in the office, you just write things in. So we're going to make one of each. Well, I'm actually going to make one of the plain one, and I'll just show you the one that I've made with the printing on the inside and how really nice that one turns out. So we'll start by taking apart this folder. If you've got any cardstock that is the same color as this, you can do it just by using this. So I'm just going to take apart this folder. These folders have score lines on them. So just open it up and cut it straight down the center. I'm cutting away the fold line because I don't want to use it. So I'll just move that piece aside. So to use this, you need to know the height of your signature this way. So you measure the height of your signature, which is 21, and the width, which is 14. So we're going to put the height this way. So 21 and mark it, 21 and mark it, and I'm going to cut that now. I need to turn it around. And I'll just cut that piece off. Okay, so now that's the height. I might just use this one here. So that's now the height of my folder. Okay. So I know I want it to be 14 centimetres wide. So I'm going to there. That's going to be the fold line of the centre here. Then I come out another 14 centimetres, which is the other side of the portfolio. And then that will be this piece here. So we're going to fold that over. But I don't need it to be that wide because I don't want my pocket to end up right over here. I only want a narrow pocket. So I'm going to make my pocket 6 centimetres. I'll have all the instructions on a sheet for you, so you don't really have to write all this down. I'll have it all sorted. You won't have to remember it then. Bring my scoreboard over, and I'm going to score that now. My lines don't always add up on the right place here, so I like to put the ruler there just to make sure that they're going to fall in a at least similar area. It won't matter if the width of this is a little bit narrower than your book. It won't matter, but it can't be bigger. It's got to be inside the cover of your book. Okay, so we can get rid of that now. We've got a score line on the first one. Now I'm going to I'll turn it around so I can make use of that corner. Same again, I need to see where that score line's going to go. Don't be afraid to use your ruler to help you with those score lines. Okay, now we've scored on this side, so we're going to fold our card the way away from that. All right, and this one here gets folded. Got my dirty finger marks to the inside. Is this looking easy or what? So there we have our cover. So now you need a corner punch. So we're going to, if your corner punch is, pretty good enough to go through 3 layers, do that. But I'm not going to test mine out like that. So I'm just going to corner punch this first layer. There. Then I can do these 2 together. And now it'll handle 2, and that's there like that. I'm not going to punch my bottom because I want it to have that file look, so it's round at the top and square at the bottom. Oh, it's up to you though. If you want to round that bottom, go for it. I've put this pattern in the FCM cut file. You can cut it by hand, and if you have, like say you've got a square piece of paper like that, just grab yourself a lid and draw around there, and then just cut that out by hand to get yourself this shape. So that's just doing it by hand. All right, but because I've got a scan and cut machine, I've made this into an FCM file. I've had that cut out on my scanner cut machine, along with that and along with these pattern pieces here to make that. So that's in the set. All right, so we've got that there, and that's what we need now to finish the file folder. So let me just get the stenciling ready to go, and we'll get that done. If you wanted to put a pattern on it, like this one, you can either lay it out flat and do it like that. I actually, gradated that up so that it disappeared. You can do that, or you can put your pattern all the way over the front. So I've just got this sort of on an angle enough to put it down the side here. And what you can do is just use a sticky note, and you can just use that so that it doesn't go to there. So then I can put that across the corner and have it just disappear up there nicely. Yeah, about there. All right, I'm going to use my makeup brushes. I've done a demo on that the last video or two. I'm going to wipe a bit of that off. I'm just going in lightly. I'm starting off ever so lightly so that I've just got that little bit of colour, especially up the top area, and darker down the bottom. Have a little look. That's pretty much where I'm going with that. That's it. See, I don't want to put a lot on that at all. I just wanted it to be dark and then go into nothing, just to give that folder a different look there. While we're at it, we can do some extra on here as well. Same thing. I'm going to use the smaller part of the flowers for this, just so that it doesn't give me too much, something too big on a smaller area. Darker at the edge. And then lighter. Put a bit more dark on those bottom bits and take it up much lighter. There we have that bit. Now I'm going to fold that over and work out that there. So if I put that there, see how it blends away nicely? I'm going to put some of this design around about here. So I don't want it to go anywhere else. I'm not even going to put any more on my brush. I'm just going to have a look at it like this and see if I can get enough colour just to have something small there. Probably should have blocked that out, I think. So just have a look at it before you go in and put too much on. Just have a look at it and see if it's what you want. And what I done on the other one is when I done that, I then come back in and join the two up once they're together. I just sit that one on the top there. And then I just figured out where the pattern might come in. Say one flower maybe. The one's too big. I've got to find the right flower for it. Maybe a bit of a leaf. And I think that leaf and that flower would work quite well. I'm just going to come in light. And I'm going to make sure I don't go over any of those other patterns. And that's worked. It's given that bit more interest rather than that plain manila folder. So I'm just now going to glue closed my pocket. Entirely up to you which glue you use. I'm just going to use the art glitter glue on its own today, because there's not going to be a lot going on with this particular pocket. It's not going to have a lot in it. I'm going to come back and I'm going to match that up. I'm going to match that. If I go right down to the bottom, I've missed a bit of it, so I'm going to bring it up and I'm going to trim that back off because I'd rather match my flower up. So I'm going to put a bit of glue along the bottom. That's what I like about working with paper. You can adjust it as you go along. So I'm going to match up the stencil, not the corner. It doesn't matter that this portfolio will be a little bit shorter. Anything's okay to be smaller than your cover. Like I said earlier, not bigger. That's it. So there's the cover made. We can pop a stamp on there or a book plate. So I'll just get a rubber stamp and I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so I'm just going to open the folder up and sit it in here. I'm using just a basic black. I'm not going to do anything too fancy pants. I am going to do a test though. I'd like to do a test first just to make sure that I'm on the right track. Get the right amount of ink out. Yep. Have you ever made something and got right to the end and then put a stamp on it and it didn't work? Oh. There we have it. That just finishes it off. You can go as far as you like with stamping and inking. I just think it's nice. I like to show you things that are done and finished in a simple version. The reason I do that is so that you can think for yourself. I'll give you a starting point. I want you to be able to come in and then just add to it yourself. These are the foundations. This pattern, when I make up a pattern, I make it so that you can go, oh, I see it like that. Have you ever gone and looked at a house, an empty house, or you've been in someone else's house and you would think, I'd have that piece of furniture somewhere else? Same with this sort of thing. You can do whatever you want with it. So in the next video, we'll be making all of these bits and pieces to put on the inside. I'll just colour up the edge of this. I'll just use the same colour as I used to do the stenciling, which is the vintage photo. Now, I'll point out that my fold wasn't quite level and this little bit here is a little bit out. I continued on and I didn't worry about that because once you've got your things in there or you've put it in as a signature, it doesn't really matter. Because I used that as a fold, I couldn't go ahead and fix it. You know, I couldn't trim it up because I would have lost that fold line. So I'll just show you very quickly how you would go about using this one here. And there is a little bit of a difference. This one here we used it as one full piece and folded that pocket over so that there was nothing cut. Now to do it with this one, the pieces are separate because if you had a if you had a piece of this folder, just say that was cut there. That was one piece. And you cut that there and that you folded that over. When you fold that piece over to form your pocket there, what would happen, it would have been there, right? But when you fold it over, your printed piece would be there. Now you may or may not like that. I didn't like it. So I decided to just cut this piece here, just the width of the folder. Then the piece that didn't have any printing on it, I cut out a strip off that plain piece, and then I would go ahead and glue that on to there to make my pocket. So we'll go ahead and do that. Line the bottom up with the top. Right, then we've got that piece there to go on as well, so I might as well do that at the same time. You can always colour the edges of these pieces. So I'm just going to glue the corner area. Pop that straight down on it. So it's pretty quick and easy if you do it in separate pieces as well. You don't have to use that fold. If your piece of cardstock isn't long enough, you can use a separate piece. Now, to fix this area up here, grab your scissors and just follow that rounded corner from the folder around. And if it's a little bit hanging out, like that bit there, we can just cut that off. It was only a slither, wasn't much to it. So I actually like it with the cleaner piece of cardstock on there. Right, so that's how you make the printed version, or with the separate piece. I'll have that on the instructions for you as well. These are another quick and easy thing for you to make. They look good with either the book pocket on the front, the file folder here to put some little goodies in, and the sticky notes, the DIY sticky note booklet, little pockets, put some little extra things in there, whatever you want. I'll see you on the next video and show you how to make all the little bits and pieces to put on the inside. I'm Donna, thanks for watching and bye for now.